Boom! What up, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I have my brother from another mother,
Yo.
Ephraim Terrell, Master Reparations in the building.
Yes, sir.
And he is now moved up. I'm moving the brother up. He is now one of the brothers. He's no longer a cousin.
What do you know? There it is. Done rewrote the family tree.
There you go. All right. So today we are discussing a very important topic. Was marriage part of our plan? Was marriage part of our plan? You know how sometimes guys get a little different training than ladies. So we're gonna dig into it. Good morning, Cheryl, sports car lady in the building. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. That's what I'm doing right now. Make sure you are sharing the broadcast. Make sure you are, if you're part of our text community, be sure to share the text with other people so they can be a part of this conversation as well. And tag a man that should be part of this conversation. I'm sure you've spoken to somebody about this. Oh, look, he said, congratulations, you're official.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
So tag somebody, share this, inbox them, spam them, send it to everybody, and let them know that the brothers are in the building and we're having important conversations. It seems like lately I've been watching a lot of videos that are kind of attacking the institution of marriage. So we're gonna dig into that question a little later, probably throughout the week, or maybe we tip on that before the end of the show. But it seemed like a lot of people are questioning marriage. But today we're just talking about marriage being part of your plan. Was it something that you thought about starting out in your journey? Oh, you know what I didn't do? I did not. Did I? I think I did. Hold on. Let me make sure I did my job. Share the link in the group with my brothers so they can be a part. Oh, okay. There we go. Let's see. Okay. So it's just going to be me and E today. But Pastor did say he loved the Brady Bunch and family was a part of his plan. so we're gonna dig into this today, me and my brother from another mother. All right, and we'll be right back right after this. All right, good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. This episode is brought to you by StreamYard. Ready to go live? Go to bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. That's bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. This episode is also brought to you by Self. Build credit now. Go to bit.ly/now build credit. bit.ly/now build credit. Right. Back. Welcome back, everybody. So make sure you share. I was just trying to hurry up and finish up my sharing. It's always a process. I don't know if it's better to share live or is it better to share before. But I figure if you come to a link and it's already going, you're likely to stay. If it hasn't started, you might leave. All right. So what up, Richard? Good morning to you, my brother.
Hold on, Rich.
Sam says, E.
Sam.
In the building. All right. So like I said, today we're going to talk about we're talking about was marriage part of our plan? Um, did you go into the dating scene thinking about marriage? How were you taught about having female companionship, and the like? So we don't really need to dig into the testimony of how you met your wife, but in dating, um, were you ever thinking about marriage? You know, was marriage ever part of your plan? Or, between your homeboys, have you thought about marriage? I know for me, you always have the discussion about, you have your lady, you have a woman in your house, you know.
Yeah,
That was probably the end of the discussion. No one ever talked about the intricacies of marriage, but I'll
right,
say for
right.
me, never growing up really thinking about it. It's like, folks have wives, but you never think about
Yeah,
the process of liking a girl and that girl becoming your wife. I know that's kind of how I grew up, and just getting into, and the relationship gets serious, and then you're like, I guess the next step is I should be getting into this marriage thing
it's
that you
levels.
really don't understand.
Yeah.
But for you though, how was your process? Or like, did you date to marry? You was like, I'm trying to find the one, or you just like, I don't know if she's there, or I'm not really thinking about that.
Nah, nah, I wasn't really thinking about that. Like I wasn't thinking about it so much that it was really amazing how fast I got married. You know what I'm saying? Like
Wow.
I considered it little to none in any other relationship. And
Okay.
like that's a
Keep it
tough
real.
one.
Keep it real.
Like okay, I'm
Keep it
saying
real.
okay. So when I did get married, like
Right.
we were engaged longer than we dated. You feel me?
Okay.
But like
Okay.
it was real legit one of those when I was ready, I was ready.
Hmm.
I feel females have an unbiased no, ladies come out the womb ready for marriage. Prep, prep for marriage. You know what I'm
The
saying?
marriage on
I say it
marriage on
like
the
that.
menu.
Oh, you feel me? And I'm not gonna say every female want to get married.
Right.
What I'm
Right.
saying is the way y'all are raised,
Well, that is, yeah.
fair or unfair. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Society,
Right.
culture, whatever.
Right.
You just if you want to be married, the option, the thought process, how it looks, what it looks like,
Right.
that's there for y'all.
Right.
Once again, and that's another reason why they have such insight on how they want the wedding and
Right.
what that's going to look like. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm not saying every female want to be married. I'm
Right.
just saying
Right.
y'all better equipped,
Right.
prepared than
Yeah.
than we were.
I
So it did not come up in my homeboys' conversations. Um,
Not one. You ever never no there was never like, and I won't say there was one with mine, but never an outlier, like the one that was like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it or something. Someone's never have you ever had anyone ever mention it or think about it? I mean, and like you said, most women, of course, there's never an all, but most women seem to be groomed, you know, and kind of just taught. You got the mothers, you got to be a good wife, got to get
yeah,
yourself a husband, and you got the Barbies. It's like the whole, like I said, society kind of shapes it from dolls to shows,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because even the shows where the woman is like the I'm not aggressive, that's not the word, but like she's the He-Man, like She-Ra or something. She's always falling into some, like fall into a relationship. Like
Yeah.
it's always some relationship shaped in the story, whereas with the He-Man, yeah, right, not all. He said who played with Barbies, right? But like the He-Man, they rarely like really have a relationship with somebody, like they have a moment, but there's never, we're not taught that. We got action figures.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we kicking butt, we have a castle, but we're always attacking or fighting.
yeah, yeah. And then the image we raised with is not necessarily, and is once again, I'm talking culture.
Right.
I'm not talking how it's supposed to be. I'm just talking how it is.
Right.
It's money, cars, clothes, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
they push us more towards not just one woman, have all of them. You know what I'm saying? That's how you
Right.
really demand. You know what I'm saying? So we have
That's
this
true.
really messed up
That's true.
perception of relationship, period, let
Right.
alone marriage. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hey man, don't
um,
worry.
even when it does ultimately hit marriage, it's more on the wedding. You know what I'm saying? And how it's supposed to be like this bally event and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, but we really, especially as you get married, you find out how messed up you are, man. And like time would have been better spent working on me because I'm bringing so much to the marriage, so much damage, so much hurt, so much pain,
Right.
so much, you know, that. And I'm taking all that and say, all right, here
Right.
you go.
Right. Good
Deal
morning,
with
Deborah.
that. You know what I'm saying? And she
Yeah.
doing the same thing. So like, um,
Yeah.
it didn't come up in our conversations.
Right.
And my homies was on the same thing I was on, so I'm not sure I wanted to hear what they had to say about it anyway, because it would have been twisted. That's
Right.
what I'm saying.
Right.
We know marriage, we're getting it from all these bootleg, jackleg sources,
Yes.
and they just further twisting up an already messed up mind.
Right.
And
Right.
you know,
Right.
that's why we come in the door
Right.
expecting certain things
Right.
to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because my homeboy Big Rumpy told me that you supposed to do this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shout out to Rump Brown. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just twisted. So we need healthier images of
Yes.
it. We need to expose children to it a lot more. And
Yes.
then when I was growing up, I could have benefited from like quote unquote cooler couples or more relatable couples because
Right.
marriage seemed
Right.
like a very old person thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like, so it's just in my head, I guess I'll do that before I die, you know?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Got somebody to hold their hand before I pass. But yeah, I think that image of marriage and right, and you hear the mid-level married people that calls it the ball and chain, and you settle down, and you know your whole life is over. You might as well
Yeah.
go ahead and get married. You know, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like this is the path to the end of the road. You
Yeah.
know, like,
For real. And
yeah,
that's not, how do you sell that? You know what I'm
right,
saying? And
right,
then you selling that to kids by
right,
kids.
right,
And it's making them feel like, well, I got time.
right.
And if you
Yes,
feel you got time, you put
yes,
things off
yes,
because you feel you got the time to do it.
right,
So let me run the streets. Let me be a fool. Let me act crazy. Let me do all this and get
yeah,
involved in all that. And then, yeah, I get married. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I don't think anybody thinks marriage is, well, I'm talking general.
yeah,
I don't think anybody thinks marriage is just as horrible. Like,
right,
you know, and
right,
some of the people who the harshest against marriage, they want to get married. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So it's not
right,
like it's a crazy concept. People can see the bliss of it.
right,
But you know, what happens is we never talk about it, and
right.
then boom, it happens.
Yes.
Um, and then it just happens.
Right. Yeah. Sam said, what did your women do different from the other women that made you wife her?
Oh man, she demanded her respect. And that's no shade in any. I don't know who watches this show. That's not to say I was dealing with women with no standards and no morals, but my wife stood on hers. Is all I'm saying.
Wow.
So like it's that just stood out to me. You know what I'm
Did
saying?
she
Not
kind of make you work a little harder
it
for
was
her in
harder,
a
man.
sense?
Like I had to step correct.
Okay.
It was like, nah, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
Nah,
okay.
you gonna come through on what you said. She
Right.
wasn't about ultimatums, nothing
Right.
force me. But
Right.
nah, you said that, so that's what I'm expecting. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that caught my attention quick. You feel
Right.
me?
Right. I mean, for me, I don't know. Like, I genuinely felt like Sam cared for me. Like I've had people in my life that kind of used me for what I had or whatever, you know, like a resource or whatever, and I felt like she genuinely cared for me. You know, I think
Yeah.
that was like the core of, you know, the connection for me. So it got the ears really. So yeah, so that the core for me was, yeah, she genuinely cared. She didn't really care about what I had, like material wise. She cared about who I was, you know. So that I think helped me, you know, significantly. It was weird because, like you said, we're not, you know, I don't know, we're not taught to like, okay, so when do I make this move? You know, like you feel it, like,
Yeah.
is this the time to to get on the one? Like you're like, this should be the one, you know. But we're not, you know, for lack of a better way of putting it, we're not taught the transition. You know, we're taught to go get the girl, or in some level of cultures or groups of our people, we're
Yeah.
taught to get as many girls, and then what you settle down with one, but
Yeah, like pick one. Yeah.
right, right,
What's your favorite pair of shoes? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah, man. It's messed up. It's we definitely could do a better job of having some understanding of what we picking, what we choosing.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just looks. Now you need to be attracted to your wife, your husband. You need to be attracted to your husband too. Like
Yeah.
the females who I don't they call them gold diggers or whatever, but I think age plays a. There should be no what's that Leah song? Age ain't nothing but a number.
Yes.
But I'm saying I get that, but I'm saying like, okay, you 22, you really attracted to this 80-year-old for real? Like, I'm not saying that it
Not
couldn't be
80.
love, that is not there,
Right.
but I'm saying I do think it's important to be attracted to the
Right.
person you marry. But I'm saying if it's based off of nothing but that,
Right.
that's a little tough. That's because if that changes that they age, it could be accident, things happen.
Yeah.
So we just like what we're looking for in a marriage needs to be a little bit more solid.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that, because once again, I'm talking about people running around 19, 20, 21 years old,
Right.
trying to figure out life, and then you trying to pick a wife, like that's tough. That's a really big decision. You know what I'm saying? Like buying a house, like that's a major purchase. You might put $250,000 into a home.
Right.
That's a lot, right? You talking about find somebody in this crazy mixed up world in your region of the world
Right.
that you'll marry for the rest of your life. Like, dang, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's
Your whole life.
pretty heavy.
Your whole life. And I
heavy.
think when is the proper time to jump in? Like one argument is live your life, do everything, then get married. Like around 30. Then settle down. And then another train of thought was like, well, starting out, why not find someone that you can live life with, and grow and enjoy and travel and do all these great things with a companion? Because let's keep it real, unless you're really disciplined as a single man, you're gonna be doing a lot of undisciplined things while you're single. So it's good morning, Keita. Good morning. All right, is he in the building? Yes, he is. All right, let's get Pastor in the building.
And then Eddie, like you were saying, even that sale. One, it does say what you can't do. What's up, preacher?
Morning. How y'all doing?
Good.
Well.
Even that sale says what? It says that you won't live life after once you get married. Life is over, right?
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That
she's going to stop all the fun,
right?
That she's going to stop all the living,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like it makes you push it back, but for all the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like I vacationed more when I got married than I did before. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like there. I don't know, man. I do have an appreciation for the pressure of marriage. You know what I'm saying? It is a very, very huge decision to make. And you talking about like once again, people under 30. You know how many times my mind changed from 20 to 25, bro? Like my worldview was like a fool, bro, about some like, and then I was man, it's crazy. Man. So
Now, how old were you when you got married?
23, 24, something like that.
Okay. All right. And Pastor, when you got married your first time, how old were you?
Do I have to say it out loud?
Yes, you're on the show.
I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was 22-ish.
Had 0 cents.
I was about to ask. So how many times has your mind changed from 19 to you know what I'm saying?
It really wasn't even that. Because I've always, like from a very young child, I always wanted to be married.
Right.
I wanted to get married young. I didn't have that mindset of, wait till you're grown and have some, some sense about you. That part never dawned on me. And I was never taught that. I grew up in a single parent household. So we didn't really talk about marriage.
Right.
Or preparation. My mother just taught us to she taught us to be good men.
Right.
Be courteous, be this, be that. But we didn't have a lot of conversation. We didn't have conversation about marriage outside of, "Ooh, I want to be married when I grow up," as a child, that kind of thing.
Right.
We didn't have the sit downs. And so I missed that part of it, So I would say that when I got married, man, I didn't have a clue. My concept of marriage was the Brady Bunch.
Right.
All right.
Right. But so let me ask you this then. Okay, so I know you said you didn't get to sit down. I mean, I came from a 2-parent household. It wasn't a discussion either. Like it should have been,
but you saw something.
At least, yeah, an example.
Better and different. You saw a model.
Right.
Yeah. Which speaks to possibility.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Hey, good morning, Cheryl. I think though it'd been cool if we did. I mean, most times as parents, you feel like, you seeing it. I don't need to talk to you about it. I'm showing you an example. It's not really a discussion. And if you, and like I said, like me and my wife always talk about the way we were raised. We know that's what they knew. Like this is just how, right. That model ruined us. But it's just, we watch it, we learn what we see. And they learn what they saw. So it's like that's how it's kind of passed down. But I think like now in our generation, we're trying to more or less fill in the gaps. Like, let me make sure I've talked to you about what you're seeing. Like, what I'm saying? Like we try to explain, like, I want to make sure you understand what you're seeing. So yeah, it's that I think when it comes to marriage, that's what I want to get. And before I move to that. So Eve, what about you? Did you ever have a conversation with your parents about it, or you just kind of like me, and most families, like you kind of learn what you saw, or did anybody talk to you about marriage?
Learn what I saw, you know what I'm saying? I had conversation with my mom about the wedding itself. Like I didn't think anybody would come, and I'm not a big celebratory type of guy, man. I don't really I'm not big on
I get it.
Attention. I'm not big on attention.
I get it.
I show love, but I'm not big on attention. So the wedding thing, I talked with her. But my dad, it was almost like the credit talk, like the sex talk, a real quick. This is what it is. She got that, you got that, and this is what happened. Don't be out there playing around. Keep it moving. All right. If you buy something, pay it back that month, they're gonna come get you. It was hit him. It was a keep it moving type of thing.
Right.
And for my brother, that's great. Even in school, he was that way. Read chapter 4, homework due tomorrow. For me, I got questions, man.
Right.
Like, that didn't register with me. Like, so when you want me to read chapter 4, you mean all of it, or do you want me to? Like, I got questions, man. Right. So I just learned different. Mm-hmm. So I wish I would have pushed back more until I wish I would have sat at the feet till I got the answer. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like they were there, but I should have put them parents to work, man. This God put y'all here for this reason. I'm gonna hold y'all accountable. Give me these answers.
I need some answers. From the people I trust the most in my life. Yeah, man. Right. That's good. Oh, so would you? Okay, so my question, or based on experience and what you've seen, would you say early marriage, or late marriage is better? And I know there's always circumstances and situations, or early marriage with some education, as opposed to late marriage when you've kind of been living. And I know, like I said earlier, a disciplined man, living before marriage can be, a good experience. But most of us have grown up undisciplined, or at least struggled to discipline, and as opposed to being out there all willy-nilly. You understand what I'm saying?
That's so hard to answer because maturity doesn't guarantee maturity. Right?
Indeed.
So like I now 37 would be a better husband to my wife back at 23 because I've been through more, I learned more, I got more experience. But that's no guarantee on 37. There's a 23-year-old out there right now who's submissive to God, who's focused, who ain't playing around. So he's ready at 23. You know what I'm saying? Like my path is my path, so it took me a little longer. but I just can't say that the late marriage is guaranteed. When the most successful marriages, I believe, are when the parties are ready. And I just can't determine you're ready. I don't know if you're ready. It's 24. I don't know if it's 19. I know it's not so likely when you're 19, but even then, you know, like McCoy was talking about that time, but like I can't tell you who has the power. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I can't say, oh, AD, you God, you know, you really got it. No, you tell me you got it, I gotta trust you. You know what I'm saying? You say you saved, you know, I won't really know, you know what I'm saying? So if that person's ready, they ready, you know.
Right.
And if your ready comes at 21 and mine came at 50, I can't put an age on it.
I got you. What about you, Pastor?
No, you can't say it any better than what he said it. I mean, the reality is, if a set of identical twin brothers married a set of identical twin sisters, and they all dress, and the brothers dress like every day, sisters dress like every day,
right?
Same habits and all of that,
right?
It would still be two very different marriages.
Yeah.
Right. Because every marriage has its own DNA. No two marriages are alike.
Right.
You know, I've seen people fall in love at the age of 12.
Right.
And grow old together.
Right.
I've seen people fall in love at the age of 35.
Right.
And not last a year in marriage.
Right.
So I've seen people grow up in the church, sitting at the altar together, getting married at 25 after graduating college and starting their careers and got all the training, and the marriage doesn't last a year. You know, I've seen, you know, a man come off the streets and marry a woman from the church, and the man never gets saved, and they stay married 50 years.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's, you know, marriage is a cultural thing, but the reality is you create your own culture.
Right.
You know, I think that, you know, the more success you surround yourself with, the chances are more in your favor. But it still speaks to a maturity thing. It speaks to a commitment thing. It speaks to understanding self. There's so many things that are internal, that are self-driven, that contribute to a successful or unsuccessful relationship.
Right.
You're
right. That she said, you're right. My marriages were very different, and they were the same dude.
Real tough.
Yeah.
True. Perfect example.
Yeah. Two totally different marriages, and
so
the same two people together.
Right. It's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. With you guys having kids, and they're gonna get into that stage of marriage, how do you promote, or so would you share with them a time frame of marriage, like, well, and not like you need to get married and pregnant early, you know, like not that kind of talk, but more or less, you know, let's keep it real, right? We have the reality of our children, and I know for my son, you know, like I don't want him out there just running the streets all willy-nilly, right? I want him to be focused with purpose, and be purposeful in his connections as far as relationships. You know, there's going to be dating, there's going to be meeting different women. But like, you know, like our ladies, we don't want our daughters out there all willy-nilly. You know, you want them to be purposeful in who they're connecting with, you know, because we know the wrong connection can jack your life up, you know, or waste a lot of time anyway, you know, like, you know, you're so entangled, or not even just having a baby, but just so entangled and just going through the motions, and like, yo, it's just not good for you, you know. So how do you recommend, or how would you need to marry late? That boy needs time. Don't do that to my son. Oh, don't do that. He ready.
His future wife might be watching.
Right.
I'm concerned because, you know, you said the word entangled, and Jada Smith just messed that up.
She redefined the word.
Let me omit that word, entanglement,
please.
But like would you, you know, like the waiting, and I know I guess it's hard to put really like a broad timeline, because each situation is different. You know, your daughter may meet somebody, and you meet them, and you thinking like, yeah, he got it together, he could be the one, you know. And granted, if you have with your daughters, what you can't control, you know, no, indeed, Minister Fletcher. Thank you for rocking with us. Good morning, Jason Fletcher
What's
in
up,
the
Fletcher?
building. But knowing that you can't control who your child connects with, it's all about what do you promote, right? Do you promote quick connections or do you promote longer waiting connections? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like your daughter brought home like the fourth boyfriend, you know, like within a period of time, you know, like, you know, are you going to be like, well, you need to be mindful of how many people you're messing with, or, you know, like how you're dating, or what's your parameter, like, or, you know, like you should, you know, be keeping marriage on your mind, you know, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, should we be connecting quicker, or should we be promoting to wait longer? You know, like, how do you guys feel about that? Because like I said, with your daughters, of course, you're like, we're all well, I know me and Pastor, I'm sure Ephraim is the same, you know, we're all about the man proposing. So it's like positioning your daughter to be a wife. And of course, my son, like choosing the right one, you know, choosing the right mate. But it should be quick or it should be short term. Jason Fletcher says, teach them and allow them to make a decision. The one you want could be totally the wrong one.
Yeah, there's
right.
no way I'm trying to choose a mate for any of my children.
Not choosing a mate, but just the speed. You know, like marry, go through it. Let's go through the process quick or long term. Like, what would you more or less talk about?
I don't want to control any of that. The things that I want to control is making sure that I put everything that I possibly can in my children.
Right.
So that when they make a decision, they make an informed decision. They won't make a dumb decision.
Right.
Or, you know, that's all. I'm sorry. They won't make an ignorant decision.
Ignorant. Right.
And that's the best that we can do. Right. You want to put as much as you have, as much as you understand. You want to give them as much of the tools as you can possibly give them.
Right.
Because when I'm saying, and because I've, you know, I've got grown children. You can't control it.
Right.
And you shouldn't even be trying to.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even control my teenagers. I give them boundaries.
Okay.
But I can't tell them who to like and who not to like.
Right. You can't control it. Right.
I tell them what's healthy and what's not healthy.
Right. I guess I give them understanding so they can kind of hopefully see.
The expectations are, you know, my rules. You know, you can do what you do, but here are the limitations in this house. But it can't be, I don't want you talking to that boy.
Right. Because pushing them away.
That sends the wrong message. My question is more of, why are you encouraged to do that? Why do you feel comfortable with this? You know, I'll ask the question, why do you do what you do? But I can't say you can't do this, or I don't want you talking. You know, I say that may not be healthy for you. Right. Because you have to get them thinking about why they're doing what they're doing.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Don't promote, teach. Absolutely. Teach.
Wow.
That's it. You got to give them as much as you can possibly give them so that they make informed decisions.
Right. He said, don't promote, teach. From a daddy of 3 grown children, I just teach and say, if you like them, I love them. If you do anything else, you will be driving a wedge. It's so funny. I can hear him say that. If you like it, I love it. The kid said, no, believe me, trying to tell them who to be with is a recipe for destruction. So let me ask you this, though. Like, so that was good, Pastor, when you're saying, like, asking the questions about, you know, like, why do you like them? Or, like, just trying to, I guess, put it out there so they can kind of hear their own answers.
Yeah.
So, like, if someone comes that you see, like we've been around long, you can kind of see certain things, there's certain mannerisms. She's like, you know, so she like him so much, but I know, you know, like, you know, can we keep it real? Because when you're looking like, you know. So
listen, I've had my daughters come back and be like, remember when you said,
okay,
you were right, Dad.
Right.
You know?
Okay. So you just kind of plant certain things.
Right. Is because I didn't say don't talk to him. I said
right, because that don't work.
Look out for this, look out for that. Be careful.
Just be mindful.
You know,
right.
What I'm hearing is this. What I'm hearing is that. And this could potentially lead to, you know, so watch for the signs.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when they see that, they come back. And that's what keeps them talking, keeps them communicating.
Okay.
You know, you wanted the fastest way to shut somebody down is to say, I don't want you talking. Oh, they're going to talk. They're just not going to tell you that they're talking.
Yeah.
That's
But like even what Pastor talking about is kind of the key to just all of it, because even with marriage, I know we're focusing on that. It's what we have a problem with is just relationships, period. Business relationships, you know, how to act on the job, how to leave a job. You get what I'm saying? We get them gung ho, we make them put on a shirt and tie and send them out there. Well, I know kids nowadays just go on apps, but I'm saying it's proper ways to start stuff and end stuff. Just relationships, period. You know what I'm saying? Like leaving churches. You know what I'm saying? It's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? We got it in the Constitution. So it's if we just had better relationship example. I think I ain't gonna say marriage gonna get easier in no kind of way. Marriage hard, but I'm saying it would be the concept would be so foreign if we just taught relationships. Period. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to a friend the other day, not to put her business out there, but she was talking about a family member that got disrespectful in front of their mother, right? And you know what I'm saying? It's just more so, and the person grown, if you know what I'm saying. But like, it's your mama though. You know what I'm saying? I know you can use your big boy words, but why cuss like that in front of your mama? You know what I'm saying? So it's about relationship. And if you want to value her in that relationship, then you don't act this way. It's kind of the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like preparing them for relationships should make the transition to marriage, the concept of marriage, a little easier. Not marriage itself. Marriage hard. Marriage for grown folk, but I'm saying a little easier.
Gotcha. So Keita put this comment up, and I'm gonna challenge that a little bit. So she said, relationships is a learning experience you have to go through to know what is right for you. So do you really have to go through everything, or do you really have to go through so much before you learn, or can you learn if you listen? You know, and all of us have been in the moments where someone has tried to tell us something we ain't listen. But can you learn relationships through listening? Like Pastor gave the indications, like, hey, you know, tell his daughter's like, or you know, daughter with somebody like, hey, I need you to kind of be mindful of this and be mindful of that. Especially if you see the dude, meet him, you already know the things I need you to look out for because you already know it's there. Like I know it's there. I just need you to be mindful. So when the validation happens, this shows that I know what I'm talking about. You know, kind of like it's just.
But the thing is, I never point that to a particular person.
Okay.
I'm always talking about, here are the things that I would be concerned about. Here are the things that I see here. You know, this is what, you know, I'm always trying to keep it general.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. But if someone comes and talks to me about a specific person,
right,
you know, and you're giving me behavioral patterns,
right,
I'll say, well, a lot of times when something like this happens, you know, it's because of these could be reasons and all of that. And I just like, what's important is to get people thinking, keep people talking, right? Good to see you, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's what's important. You got the communication is what's key. And a lot of times, you know, I've said, my wife and I've had situations early in our marriage, many years ago, where I said, I wish I could have recorded what you just said to play it back to you so that you know what it sounds like.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I do that with my children. You know, let me give back to you what you just gave to me and see how it sounds to you. Right. Because a lot of times when you give them back what they say, it sounds crazy, but it didn't sound crazy when they were saying it.
Right.
You know that old saying I have, right? A lot of people love to talk, but they don't know how they sound.
Yeah.
Right. You like to hear yourself talking, but you don't really know how you sound.
Right.
And so that's what I've learned. Get people talking about it. And so I don't direct this. Like if you tell me, if my daughter tells me about a little boy who does something that sounds absolutely crazy to me, I'll say, well, how does that sound to you?
Right.
Does that sound like someone who's, you know, got their ducks in a row?
Right.
How does that make you feel? You know, what if that happened? What if it was directed towards you? Or how would you feel if, you know, you were on the, you know, that kind of thing. I do that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Now I have snapped.
Okay.
You know, I have said things like, I will break his neck.
Right. Said about
right.
That. Yeah.
In response to them, because I want them to know, you know, I'm not just a counselor. I'm also a bouncer.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Because they got to know they have the best of both worlds. And so that they'll never have a fear, you know, That's the thing. You always know that you have a place that you can run to. So all of that is important. And then for the boys, I don't teach, like when my son was here, I didn't teach my daughters anything that I didn't teach my son.
Okay.
Right. A lot of times we tell the girls, treat yourself like gold. So what are you telling the boys?
Right. Yeah.
We don't say boys that don't have no sense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I learned that a long time ago. I met my pastor in California actually kept his son home longer than he kept his daughters.
Nice.
He said, and I'm like, why? Because he's going to be the head one day.
Right. That makes sense.
That's deep.
Yeah.
So we treat the girls like gold, like precious gems, and then we treat the boys like rocks.
Right.
Yeah.
And wonder why they, they're knuckleheads. And so we have to think about
and when they do stupid stuff, be like, oh, he's just being a boy. Like,
right.
We don't expect boys to have sense.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
man.
That's interesting. Oh, so today we're talking about was marriage part of our plan? You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We come on every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your opportunity to share. Sharing is caring. Make sure you tag somebody. Let the people know that we are in the building. We're having these discussions to move our community forward. Also, be a part of our community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. Never miss a broadcast. And you will always stay up on what's going down with the brothers. So definitely be a part. And we look forward to always seeing you every day. We're not closing out. I think it just flows out of my mouth like that. But I just wanted to take a quick break, just so you know what you're watching, who you're watching, and knowing that we're on every single morning at 9 a.m. So if you have any questions, definitely put it in the comments. Don't be shy. There's several people in the room. I know we get some of the same folk that comment, but I know you have something burning. Listen, feel free even to challenge some of the stuff we say. Listen, we learn by having healthy conversation. That's what we're all about. So we're talking about, was marriage part of our plan? Discussing, what we learned growing up in our households. Pastor, he was ready to have the Brady Bunch. I was just like, I don't know when marriage should start.
I came close. I had 5.
Right.
Oh yeah, man, go for it, man.
So yeah, so we've all kind of grown up in different situations, and like I said, I know none of my boys really talked about marriage in the essence of having a household, being lead or head of household, and all of the work and things that come with that.
I told my boy I was getting married. He was like, oh, okay, bro. Hey, bro, she pregnant? Like that on everything. Shout out to Rue, my boy Rue. I gotta call my boys, man. Rue was like, hey, all right, yeah. Like he paused, like it shocked him a little bit, like,
right,
all right, bro, she pregnant?
Right.
Like, nah, bro, she ain't pregnant. So it was like I kind of saw marriage outside looking in. I wasn't married, so I just kind of saw it like a distraction.
Yeah.
And then I had some homies who were kind of getting married impulsively, so I saw it as this like emotional impulse decision. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I just kind of what you were just saying. It kind of just was like an alternative. Like, nah, you can't do that right now, because if you do, it's going to distract you from living and doing what you're trying to do.
Right.
And not even just like crazy riders living, like just like, okay, you want to start a car wash? You can't do it if you're married. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like very much a distraction or a pause to life.
Right.
That's how it was kind of like put out there,
Right. And I think that's, it's like, it's just settle down and get yourself a wife. Like stop living and just go and get that house and get yourself a wife and just go on the pasture. Like it's like the end. It's like the end of the road. It's like, okay, you're on the last road to the end. And it's never promoted as it's now you have a partner in life. Now you have a helpmeet. Now you have someone to help build on the vision that God has shown you, or the purpose that you have, and things of that nature. So I kind of going into when I was saying about age and time, I guess is getting, as raising a male, making sure they're kind of focused, at least kind of focused and have some type of level of purpose, before they get into a marriage, or a marriage period. Like if you're doing it, what's your plan? Having a plan. And I think we need to do, just more talking and training about what marriage means, the good and the bad, but more, I think nowadays we need to talk about the good, like marriage is a great thing. Marriage is an enjoyable thing. Marriage isn't something that's supposed to end your life. It's the next part of your life, too many times, like I said, the whole ball and chain, and you've seen, other than watching the Cosby Show and like the Brady Bunch, and what's that other show when you used to come in the house and trip over the ottoman? Remember, the Dick Van Dyke shows? That dude.
Listen, first of all, don't take your guidance from what you see on television.
Right. Well, that too.
Cosby's getting close.
Came close to what?
A healthy image. It's probably the healthiest image you've seen on TV.
I don't know, because I never saw anybody get cussed out on the Cosby Show.
I didn't say realistic.
I'm just saying that, the reason why you have to be Christ-centered is because it exposes everything.
True indeed.
Right? The good, the bad, the indifferent.
Yeah.
I don't like using the ugly.
Right. Right.
It brings out the best, but also it brings out the worst. It takes you to your greatest the greatest challenges I've ever had in my existence in the earth is what I bring to the table in marriage.
True.
It's the single greatest challenge of my life is marriage. And I'm saying that it has given me my greatest days, but it has also given me some pretty painful days.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah. And so, and you have to work through that stuff and without having Christ. And so like this, if this was a platform, if this morning was about, what to do before you get married, we'd be having a whole different conversation. We were just dialoguing about marriage being a part of our plan and our own experiences and all of that. And so I want to preface that because a lot of folks will take, we got a couple preachers on here. I'm like, them preachers don't know nothing about the Lord,
Right.
I mean, seriously, because you have to be careful how you present information because people will take a little bit, a sound bite.
Yeah.
And it can become your cross.
Right.
So there's a whole lot that goes into this, but it begins with relationship with self and being Christ-centered.
There you go.
Right. And for the unbeliever, good luck.
Right. Right.
That's that because you're operating off luck.
Right.
Because it ain't spirit, and if it is, it's the wrong one,
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. There's a lot of work to do internally before getting married, and there's a lot of work to do internally during the marriage. And Samantha said, we had two different marriages, but the reality is you have different types of marriages anyway. Like the marriage I have today is not the marriage I had 20 years ago.
Right.
It's not the marriage I had 10 years ago.
Right.
Because we're constantly changing. He said, did you say you're 37? 37 years old. And how old were you when you got married?
23.
23. That's two different marriages. You married to the same woman, but the seasons change.
Yeah, a lot.
Perspectives change, perception changes, understanding changes, maturity evolves. And so you become different people, So I'm saying, 100%. There's so much to that, man. There's so much to that.
Yeah. So maybe
that's why your marriage is your own.
Yeah.
It ain't your mother's.
Your
daddies.
Your
uncles, your grandparents. It's yours.
Yeah.
You have to make it. Nobody else.
Yeah. Keep them outside opinions. Keep them under control too when you're getting married, man. Because you're gonna hear a lot of
balance that. Yeah.
Right. It's good. That's good. So tomorrow we'll talk about
how to get your wife in line. Oh, wait, that's not where you was going with that, bro. where you was going with it? I'm trying to go where you were going. I thought we had a connection here. Oh man, I ain't okay. I missed you on that.
To get your woman in order.
Come on, brothers.
Yes, sir. Teaching techniques and everything.
Right.
OG Bobby Johnson, he had the blueprint.
Oh Lord.
Nah, my bad example.
That's so good. Oh man.
Listen, tomorrow talking about marriage prep. We're gonna kind of dig into that and get your mind right. Oh, this was Sim said. That's definitely not where Anthony was going with that. No, not at all. Not at all, baby. Not at all. Sweetie bop. Tomorrow we dive into marriage prep, preparing and some of the things we didn't know preparing for marriage. And honestly, like really digging into that. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure you get your tag some brothers, tag some men, and tag some young brothers, so we can have this conversation and show some things that we learned. You know, how to have that balance of focus, intentional, loving. You know, not a drag in marriage. How to have a healthy, wonderfully loving marriage, where you know it's not the ball and chain any longer. But I appreciate you guys rocking with us. It's crazy. Before I go, that you know, it's like it seemed, and I told Ephraim when I started off saying, it seemed like there's such an attack on marriage. Watching videos and what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? You know, and missing out on the essentials of marriage and what it really means. I'm like, it ain't about stuff. It ain't about material.
Yeah.
It's a lot deeper than that. And I think that's being glossed over. So we're going to dig into that. And what
there was
really
something
means.
on social media floating around that said, you don't bring anything into this world. You don't take anything out of this world, but we get so caught up in all the stuff that we get while we're here that we can't take when we leave.
Right.
So we got to get our priorities in order. Absolutely, man.
Priorities in order.
That stuff's important, but it's not as high ranking as we put it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I want to know what you bring to the table as far as baggage. Like, who hurt you? what am I have to deal with 4:00 in the morning when I wake up and you sitting there looking at me crazy? You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to know you bring to the table.
I promise you, if I'm walking down a dark alley at night,
yes,
and I have to throw blows,
yes,
Christelle McCrory is my number one choice for a partner. In a dark alley at night, because I know, we're gonna take it all the way. Yeah, that's real.
Yes, that's real. My wife as well.
Real.
My wife as well. She's ready. All right.
Yeah. I ain't trying to fight nobody, but if I had to,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. All right. We're gonna get out of here. We appreciate you guys for rocking and hanging with us. Make sure you join our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. And if you've not shared this broadcast, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. And I appreciate you for being here with another edition of the Brothers of Legacy, where we don't stand out, we stand up. Excuse me. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel. And appreciate you, E, for hanging out and being with us and sharing. Pastor as well. I appreciate you guys for always sharing your journeys, your concerns, and the things that you've dealt with and being transparent about it. Because, you know, it takes a lot. You know, I guess you kind of get used to it, but it takes a lot. You know, like, you know, when you share it and it's stuff, you're like, I don't think I've ever shared that online. Like, you know, you start saying stuff like, I don't think I've ever said that out loud. But, you know, it's healthy, and we do it to show that you're not the only one going through particular things, and you're not the only one dealing with, you know, sometimes you look at people online, you're like, oh, their life look like it's all together. Trust me, my brother. We all got our struggles. We got our fights. We got our issues. We got our things that we're dealing with. but we show you how we're dealing with them in the most healthy way possible. And that's the key, just not losing it over small things, not losing it, or throwing away the baby with the bathwater, based on situations and issues, and how you can have a healthy life, a healthy marriage, a healthy family. It just, honestly, you got to be intentional and just do the work. I think sometimes as a man, I know for me, I was on autopilot. Just expecting stuff just to work a certain way. I don't understand. I'm working. I come home and things out of order, and not realize, brother, because you're not helping things be put in order. So now it's just free fall, So we have to be in place. We have to be in position, and that's what Brothers Legacy is all about. All right. So I appreciate you guys being here and rocking, and we look forward to seeing you guys same time, same channel, and be blessed. All right. Peace out. If I can hit this, spliggity splow. As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for rocking, hanging, being. Make sure to share. Sharing is caring. All of my replay peoples that watching the back.